Hi fashion historians, I'm excited to show you the oldest piece that we have here in our collection at MCC. This is a pretty amazing jacket. It's got a little bit of a story. It was given to us by Lehigh University. It dates to about 1870, 1875 in there. You all have been able to watch the video with our steampunk Victorians and talking a lot about the bustle style. And this is really right in the throes of the bustle. And we can tell because of the way the jacket is constructed. The front has a lot of interest in the front, and the back is cut very high so that the bustled skirt, and we know that the later bustle is the one that has really that larger shape or shelf to it, and this could accommodate any style of bustle on the back. What's really beautiful about this to me is the fact that it is beaded all with Whitby jet. Whitby is kind of on just short of the Scottish border on the northeastern side of England. And it's in the borderlands, as they're known. It is something that is literally dug up from the earth, mined, and they create these beautiful beads. So these beads have to be tumbled and shaped, cut, to create the beautiful formation that you'll see here. At the end, I'll try to lace them out here so that you'll be able to see the different shapes, but many of them are done literally like a cylinder arrowhead. So they have a point on them and almost like a pencil. And it's just amazing that this is beaded in that way. It's very geometric, which is really part of art at this time in the 1865 to about 1880s. We see a lot of geometric patterns in wallpaper. Clothing follows architecture or home interior fashions, or maybe they follow fashion, whoever's the leader. But we do tend to see a lot of these geometrics showing back up both in fabrics and wallpaper for the home, as well as garment manufacturing or the creation of pattern. This actually is black on brown, and black on brown is, was kind of out of fashion for about 20 years, from the 60s, or probably 70s to the 90s. And then we started seeing Fry Boot come back with that equestrian look, where they had the black boot with the brown cuff. Very English, very important in footwear, but it had not been combined. If you had brown and brown shoes, you never mixed that with black. Those were kind of those 1950s, 1960s rules that after the miniskirt upheaval, we kind of start to lose a lot of these old-fashioned rules of dress. So this brown and black combination is and was really popular at that time. So we can see even how colorations go through what is fashionable and what isn't. Whitby is the town where Mary Shelley was born and grew up, and she's the author of Frankenstein. So very appropriate as we leave Halloween and go into our holiday season. She definitely would have worn something just like this. It was very popular to wear Whitby jet. Necklaces, beading, and you can see here, I'm going to kind of fold this out a little bit so you can see some of the fringe and we have 3 layers of these, all with silk tassels with the beading attached to it. Very complicated construction. I'm going to hold this up because, again, we can tell this early style because of the neckline. Get my beads back somewhat into place. The back being very open and plain to be able to house the lobster bustle in back. And then the front with these tabards that would have gone down the flat front of the skirt, popular at that time. It had full closure, so this came all the way. A very tiny person would have been wearing this. Closed all the way up the front with a rather mandarin-like Victorian collar. A dolman sleeve. So what's interesting here is this sleeve is a one-piece cut. Let's see if I can get this up here. There we go. And not a regular set-in sleeve. And there you can see the geometric pattern. We'll silk file, a ribbed silk, all on the front of this jacket. Turn it over and again show you the back without these tabards so you can see exactly what the back looked like. Very straight across. And then this would have fit right on top and integrated that bustle skirt into the jacket. So this would have created that look. I want to fold this here and I want to show you these diamond-shaped beads. We can get into look at that. And they are everywhere. In fact, here's a little broken one. Nobody would notice. But really amazing. This would have been done by hand. At this time, we do have sewing machines. I can tell that the seams have been done by sewing machine, but all of this beading is done by hand. Part of it we can tell because it's irregular. When we use machinery, it's perfect, but this was all created. And if you just look at the intricate design on this back yoke panel, you can see that it is, this would have taken not hours and hours, not days and days, but weeks and weeks to create this jacket. So it would have been owned by someone that had a good amount of funds to be able to buy this kind of a garment. Again, our oldest piece, I want to show you a little bit of the inside construction because we're going to look at some more of this. Our silk lining is shredding as normal. That's an easy way to tell pure silk when it's over 100 years old. But I want you to see the construction on the inside. This particular jacket does not have heavy boning, and it's very interesting because I would think it would have the boning in here to support this heavy beading. Perhaps the blouse or the top that was worn underneath may have had some, but this particular dress does not have that. And it may have prohibited them from sewing on all of those beads if it had been in there. But this is very common for dresses from about 1830 until we get to modern times. But it would be a type of ribbon that would be put in here to hold the jacket from the back tight to the waist so that it gave that really trim look. Especially wearing a bustle, you don't want your jacket riding up, and you can see here that this would have held this tightly in place around the waist. So with that, we're going to move on to a little bit a new decade, but very similar construction.